Hey guys, this is Chris again. Appreciate you continually exploring the knowledge base. If you kind of followed the series of videos, we went through on the last one kind of the simple question and answer types that you have in the form designer, kind of the basics of the form designer. We kind of defined all the different aspects of kind of how to navigate the form designer through the drag and drop, and then the configuration of the different answer types. In this video, we're going to kind of take it to the next step with some more tangible use cases and more advanced functions available to you in the form designer. And they're primarily geared around two basic functions. The first of which is how form data can reference assets, how they can create new assets, how they can reference existing assets, and even update existing assets as well, plus the ability to create various calculation types within the Omnidek form. So what I want to do, I definitely encourage you, before you jump into this one on more of the complex answer types, go explore how to create assets, because that's a big part of what we do. So we're going to want to make sure that we go ahead and you're familiar with how to create assets. You've gone ahead and imported your lists of customers and vendors and projects and whatever else. So I definitely encourage you to go watch that video first on kind of creating your data, so that now whenever we start building some of these advanced answer types, the data will be available there for us. So to kind of get started, what I wanted to do is just kind of go through some samples here of advanced answer types, as well as some of the functionality that we have. So in kind of the base function of assets, we have these very simple pick lists. And an asset for us, it's just a data point that we want to reference that's verified, so that we can link them together, we can report on them, and just offering selection opportunities on the form. So this is what a standard pick list looks like. So this is just a standard list type. When I select it, it's going to pull in all the required data. An advanced answer to this would be asset detail. So it's the same interaction of selecting the asset, but it actually is going to backfill additional data points out of that particular asset's file. Like this example is probably a little bit better. This is the bill 2, and it's pulling in the address and the city and state and zip code. So this is the data stored in that particular asset's file. Now, to kind of show you where all of this data is coming from, if I come over here to my administrative screen and go into assets, and I'll show my asset types here. These are all the different assets that I've got listed in my system, and these are all of kind of the asset. This is the asset table that I can reference on the form, right? So any bit of this data we can make visible on the form, but we can also create new transactions. Let's say, for example, this could be like new customers, and we want to create new customers from a form, maybe a new customer onboarding form or something along those lines. Maybe we want to adjust this. Let's say maybe this was pieces of equipment, for example, and maybe we want to update the current location and the current quantity on hand or something along those lines. That would be an example of how I would do an asset update, because I'm updating a particular answer type inside of this asset. So to kind of show you how all of this plays together, I'm going to come down here into the form designer, and I'm going to create a real simple example where, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and create a little test column here. And now I've got a blank canvas. Now here's where I want to bring in the first element to this, which is actually going to be the asset list. Now, if you remember, the asset list is a simple pick list. So whenever I engage with it, I'm going to come in here and give it my reference name, my question and answer. But down here, these are all my different asset types. So let's say I'm going to go to my master job list. Well, this right here is what do I want displayed on this question? And I may say, okay, I want the job and the description. So whenever I search it, I have both of them there. This would be if I want to search by maybe if it's a piece of material, the serial number, or the equipment serial number, odometer reading, whoever's truck it is, a nickname, whatever else. I can check off any of the things that I want to select here in this particular form. So first asset type is just a simple asset list, a simple selection opportunity. The next is called asset detail. Asset detail allows me to come in and not only select a particular file. Let's say, for example, this was my customer file. So I want the customer name and the customer number. So this is going to be on my display drop downs. But I may want to have additional data backfilled. So you can see there's two sections here, the drop-down display and the details field. If I just start checking off the different details, this is now showing up on the form itself. So whenever I select that question, it's going to backfill and populate all of that information. Now, I have the opportunity to move these things around to get them in different orders if I want to. So this is kind of how I reorganize it here. But this is as simple as it is to create a simple pick list or a backfill opportunity with this particular form. Now, you have a couple of different options as well in both the asset lists as well as the filtered by columns or the asset type details. Filtered by column would be an example if the asset data that we're putting on the form may have a specific type. So let's say, for example, this was jobs, and we had a field on there which was active or non-active. I could filter by just active column. I don't really have any column in here to be able to filter by, but if I had a relational table or a unique identifier table, I'd be able to filter off of that. So another good example would be, think about a football team's roster and the positions are filtered. So if I want to have a filter where it's just quarterbacks or just running backs, something along those lines. So this filtration can actually help us shorten this list off based off of a particular function as well. Now, the next piece of this is actually an asset edit, an asset create. Both of these function very similarly. From here, if I come in here and select my asset, say it's here, job description, let's see, job details. Let's say, for example, I may have wanted this to be a quantity on hand or a piece of equipment in a new location. I can allow this to be an editable field here. But what's also pretty neat is that I can actually update quantities on hand by doing math equations that will pull away from and update a new quantity.